And one really, really cool thing about these, which goes into my tip for today, since we're kind of in the tip part, is when you're sharpening anything, if you want to resharpen it the same way, you need to have an index on it, right? Makes sense. Now, the pneumatic tool companies have collets. There's two different kind of collets here, the GRS and the NSET, and they index as far as going into their machines. Each one indexes the machines, or each one into your sharpening system. But I don't want to talk about that so much. I want to talk about indexing the graver itself in the collets. Okay. Square gravers, I do have to say, I had fancy graphics that I was going to do, but we had a little emergency yesterday. Yeah, you can put its picture. Our dog broke his tail yesterday, so most of the day we were in the doggy ER. So he's good, but in absence of,
there's our puppy.
There's our puppy. In absence of our in our fancy graphics, I have visual aids.
All right.
Okay. So if we have our collet and we have our square graver, right?
Now the collet's this.
Right.
Okay, that's what we're talking about.
Right. So in our square graver.
Right.
Square gravers are relatively easy to index because if you have a set screw,
you usually put it on the flat.
It'll come in on the flat.
Right.
Or you can make on this part here, on this part, you can make a flat, and you can try to get it. You can set it like this if there was a flat there.
Okay.
If there's not a flat there, of course, it's going to spin.
Right.
And it's not that important if you have the graver and you never intend to take it out of the collet, because wherever it is, it's going to be there. But on my bench, stuff is getting taken out of collets all the time. So I always like to have an index right on the graver itself, so that when it goes out of the collet, I can put it back in.
And it goes the same way.
And it goes the same way, right. So if you have a flat.
I figured that out the hard way.
Right. If you have a flat and you know which way it's going to go in, that's pretty obvious.
Okay.
But when you have a round stock, here's my Tabasco. This is my round stock, right? My round stock graver in there.
Right.
And I have a black line here. If you imagine that's where the point would be down there.
Okay. Hold it a little bit closer to see the black line over there.
Yeah.
There's our, okay.
Right. So if you have a round in the collet, and you sharpen it, great. But if it comes out of the collet for some reason, now how do you get that right back where it is, right? It's here, it's here. Now, yes, you can slap it in there, try to line it up, make your best guess, and re-index everything. You can do that. But if you put a flat spot on the back, right, then the set screw would go into the flat spot.
So you want to put the flat spot on the same place on every graver so that it's consistent, right?
What I would do if I was making a graver from a round blank, first thing I do is I set an index. I put the flat spot on the back.
I bet you're the only one.
No, I bet you I'm not. But I would put the flat spot on the back.
Okay.
Okay.
And that would be your index spot.
That would be the index. So whichever system you're using, whatever collet you're using, now you've got your index spot. Then I go and I make my graver with my, whatever tools you
set all your angles up and everything.
Now, why did I just tell you that?
Yeah.
I did because Valorbe came up with flat spots on their gravers that they have pre-done.
Oh, wow.
See that there? There it is.
Oh.
So there's a flat spot, and it's parallel to the center line. So when I make a flat spot on my sharpening equipment, it could be parallel, but usually it's a little off. Still works fine.
Okay.
Okay. So now the question is, what does it fit? It fits NSET collets, and it fits GRS collets. So all of them fit in here. So the flat spots that are already on these carbides fit. So they're universal, and they're very cool.
That's extremely cool.
It is. It's very cool. And I'm glad that they came up with, an improvement, something that's really nice. Because, I mean, there's other carbides on the market. They work very nicely. But they're not, I mean, the first thing I'm doing is indexing them.
Well, I just have like 20 collets. But but you're right. You always need one more, something, and you pull it out,
right,
and then you can't reset your graver.
Find it, so you're taking it out, and then here it is on your bench. Fine.
But that's very cool, and it's indexed, so it's always going to be the same. That's smart.
Right, and of course, because they have, because in the manufacturing they're doing this, right? They've put that in there.
That's awesome.
Right, that is perpendicular to the face angle.
To participate in future live Precision Bench webcasts, like Engraver.com and/or Precision Bench on Facebook. Registrants also receive links to replay videos they can watch at their convenience in the future.